Welcome, everyone. My name is Yvonne Cunningham, and I'm going to be your hostess this evening. I have been consuming and sharing the Juice Plus products now for almost 30 years, and I am so proud tonight that we have Dr. Rachel Smartt with us tonight. So welcome, Rachel.
Well, hello, everybody.
I want to just share with you tonight that we have interpretation. You'll be able to listen to this in English or in French. And let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to read Dr. Rachel's bio and away we go. So good evening, everyone. And Dr. Smartt is a naturopathic doctor with 25 years of experience, and she's the CEO of Smartt Transformations. She is the author of the book, Modern Day Miracles. She emphasizes the significance of health and faith for abundant joy. Dr. Smartt has a passion for prevention and building wellness communities. She believes food is your best medicine and the importance of plant-based nutrition for optimal health and vitality. From resilience and into grace, Dr. Rachel Smartt is going to share all about how to help you know how to really amplify your wellness, to be prepared for the best and the worst of life, also how to make the most out of hard things, and good health is important to have. So we can together navigate it all. So please welcome Dr. Rachel Smartt.
Well, thank you for that introduction, inviting me to be part of the wellness communities and teaching in health and giving hope. And it's a journey for sure, but it's well worth it when you have the right tools. So grateful that you asked me to come into the community. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. There we go. Well, I'm just grateful. I picked a topic that I'm just so passionate about with, really nutritional excellence. And I think that if you think about where you are in your health journey, I don't think anybody woke up today and said, I want average health. So I teach the nutritional excellence and being able to desire what you want to create, and you'll be able to learn and to navigate and attract those things as well. And I love helping people, whether you're here to battle a disease or you're going through wanting to age well and going into the older years, or helping young children be able to understand it. This is so important to be able to have the framework, and I'm so grateful to be able to be here tonight. What I'm going to do is fivefold. Is I'm going to share my story and the journey off out of the gate, okay, to help you know that I can relate, like many of you, with some struggles and how I navigated them. And I'm going to talk to you more about nutrition and immune health, and we're going to go into a little more about the immune system and the microbiome and the gut health connection, and how to control blood sugar, taming the taste buds, and some of the things that we want to change with our waistline, and just, of course, prevention. Get your pencils ready, and I'm going to be sharing 4 ways to supercharge your health, and to really knowing the power of adding whole food nutrition and Juice Plus to help you give more confidence in that area as well. So I'm just going to begin by just talking to you about my real story. And I was so grateful that many may, get married and you're young and have dreams. So to be able to live forever, it seems like when you're young, you have those big dreams. And I was like that. I was, 21, getting married, and married to, a wonderful person, was really athletic. He played baseball all through his life, and had a full ride scholarship in college as a pitcher. And I always thought lived a fairy tale life, that my husband's going to take care of me. We're going to live long and be healthy all the way through. But unfortunately, I was just 34 years of age, and I had 4 children. I had a 1-year-old, and I had a 10-year-old, and 2 in between. My husband was suddenly diagnosed with terminal adrenal cancer and given just 6 short months to live. I don't know how many can relate to that story of just sudden. It just took us by surprise. And we were scared, but we were also, really, we turned to the Lord, and we became very serious students of nutrition. We began researching prevention to find out what happened, how does things happen? And we started learning that we can't see under the hood, and disease develops long before we have symptoms. By the time my husband had a symptom, he already had a massive tumor on his adrenal gland the size of a grapefruit, and he had it spread all over his body. It went all throughout his body, through his bones, and it was just for just a few symptoms. So we began researching this, and we seeing the imbalances, some of the toxic overload, some of the dysfunction underneath the layers of seeing things. And 75% of what we see, we have disease that's already developed before we have to see the symptom of cancer or obesity or autoimmune disease. So we began learning that the most amazing hope that we found was that the body can heal if given the proper nutrition, the right thinking, get rid of the toxic overload. And we began learning of and getting hope through that. And I started going to school, helping my husband learn that the power of fruits and vegetables are so important. They're essential. They're not just a good idea, but they're so powerful. They can actually save your life. And our bodies depend on getting the right alkaline, the alkalinity of getting the cells to respond. And we'll go in further. But we started gaining hope that fruits and vegetables can be a part of helping the body to work and to neutralize the toxic overload and to extend life. We know we're all going to have a life that we're going to end up eventually passing away, but we don't have to speed it up. And so we began looking at this to gain hope with my husband, as well as protecting and arming our entire family with a nutritional seatbelt. So we began researching prevention. There is a relationship between nutrition and disease. We learned that there's a lot of things out on the market. You'll see the magazines that was, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, when we were navigating this. We're seeing the same today, is that we have a lot of, things that are really declining our health, and it comes down to preparing the body. And one of the things that we found hope that your genes are not always your destiny. Just because you have a genetic makeup, you can play up them or play down. And it is in a lot of it our playing field to be able to have a way to navigate that. So we as a family, we started learning about the what is real food. We look at the processed food. It's begun to change Mother Nature, things that come in from a bottle, box, or can, and then ultra processed food with a lot more chemicals. We see that this is the way that ages us, and so we have to really get back to the basis of good nutrition, is what we learned. And we learned too that eating a plant-based focus, you don't have to be a vegetarian or a vegan, but you need to be a 80% plant-based focus. Is it some at times it's proven there's medicine, it's like a medicine for the body, and helping to really in many ways tip that scale. And we're seeing that in now 30 years later than when I first learned about it. So this gave us hope to have a way to start turning to more plant-based diet. Every bite mattered, defeating disease and wellness to help us battle strong. So we began finding a way to turn to a plant-based diet primarily, and we started juicing fruits and vegetables because we didn't get these servings. We were struggling and wanted to amplify that way to give life to the body, as well as our whole family. And so juicing was something that we went to the farmer's market. We got a whole big 5-pound, 10-pound bags of carrots, and we did apples and beets and celery, and it was a very big chore. It was about an hour to do this juicing, but it was making a difference. And then we began learning the power of getting a variety. And that's when I started struggling, we weren't getting a big variety. We just got what we could palate. We started learning about the power of the different colors of food. They give ways to give more protective properties, what we call antioxidants. They give a lot of the nutrition with different properties to affect different organs of the body. And I wanted to ensure that. So I started looking at, ways to do that. And we understood through a neighbor told us about a Dr. Du Bois coming in and talking about the power of living food and a way to juice on the run. And that's when we learned about plant powders and getting 30 vine ripened raw fruits and vegetables that have been peaked at their ripeness, grown by family farmers. It had quality food, and it was compressed and concentrated into a capsule. So we began loading up this as our base, and we could get out of the kitchen. And it was giving us, as a family, can you even imagine the hope for our 4 daughters and my husband and myself to getting a simple solution and to getting wide variety of plants, vine ripened, and it had the low temperatures. It had the impact of the live enzymes as well. So this was something that we did as a simple way to add more memories. We have incredible memories because of living food and prayer and fighting spirit. And of course, what we were trying to eat, we had amazing memories. And I was so grateful that I can share today. My husband was my very first student. He was able to get 8 extra healthy years, having memories and joy and life extension because of the things that I want to share tonight. And Juice Plus was the most significant thing we did as far as nutrition, to give the foundation, the edge, those 8 extra years. And the picture you see with my daughters was the last picture we had taken. My youngest daughter was a year when he was diagnosed, and then she was 9 when he passed away. So you better believe nutrition does matter wherever you are on the spectrum. And this is a picture of my husband at the beach. And it was 6 months before he passed away. So we were seeing how nutrition did slow down and gave him life. And for me as a naturopath, it is the number one thing that I do and help my clients to give them the edge on their health. I've only been to well visits in 25 years. I've only been to well visits. I have never been to a sick care visit. It's always been well visits and checkups. If I had getting a little bit of a sick, I can always double up on what I know with whole food concentrates and more clean eating, and I'm able to get through that and helping protect my children from what we can't see under that hood. And that's why I preach preventative health. So there is, and what I want you to know, and that was a fast story, and I just tenderly feel so grateful that I've had this story to share. And have spent the last 25 years pouring into communities and to helping people know that there is science and hope behind a health. It's not just guessing our way through. It is really that there's science of staying healthy, and we can be able to age well. We should be able to live to be 80, 90, 100 with a lot of confidence. If we start early, and any time we start, we're going to have an advantage. Our children also are our focus as well, and there is hope in that. We have to take responsibility that what we do today affects not only ourselves but our families as well. So I wanted to make sure you understand there's four main pillars of health, and I've kind of clumped them all together to keep them simple, but we have to have the mindset. The mindset and stress management, how to breathe through and navigate negative emotions or positive ones. We want to make sure that how we think affects a lot of times how we act and how we eat and how we move. One of the biggest things I lay as a big foundation is whole food nutrition and water. Got to feed the body what it does to create the body and get our bodies moving with physical activity and sunshine. It seems like a simple thing. There's a lot of power of getting our eyes to get out and see the sun. It affects the nervous system, affects how we communicate, because we're electrical beings, we're energy beings. And then, of course, you can see this little slide here, maybe it's covering up things here, but it's sleeping, getting the right sleep. The only way we change the body is taking that nutrition in, is to affect how we process things in a restful state. And if we don't get our rest, we need about 7 to 9. Some people need a little bit more of rest to restore, to help make hormones, to be able to process our mind information so we can actually have a way to think clear. These are critically important, but we keep it simple. It's really the four main pillars, in my opinion, and there's some things that are twined together, but it's critical to have that foundation to move forward. And I just so grateful that we have a lot of things that have come well, past 30 years ago with Thomas Edison. He was the one that invented the light bulb, but he had some things to say, which I agree with. He predicted that the doctors of the future, which now we're seeing it, will no longer treat the human frame with drugs. They have side effects, and there is a place for drugs at times, but will rather cure and prevent disease with nutrition. It is the medical way to the body be able to heal as well. It's very powerful. And so how many fruits and vegetables should we be eating? We need to know. And I always have my clients hold up their hands with 10 fists. We need 10 servings, at least 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day in variety. And if we're an athlete, that we have a lot more push on our, striving for pushing our bodies to an ultimate level, we need more servings of fruits and vegetables. And if you're having some battling with illnesses and a lot of inflammation, we'll talk about that in a minute, we need more than the 10 servings every day with variety. And so I want to ask you, what kind of fruits and vegetables, or how many do you think you ate for breakfast? How many did you have for lunch? And how many did you have for dinner? Did you have a variety? Were they vine ripe quality? Were we consistent? So those are some things to think about. And that's what I thought about when I was learning about these. So one of the things I love to teach, and you were all here present learning all over the world, is if we don't understand why plants matter, what do they do in the body? And what is the root cause of disease? And we won't really understand why we need to eat more of them. So my message hopefully is very clear, is eat real food. Bridge the nutritional gaps, and then more and more matter. But here is what I want to share, is that we have two things, really three things that I wanted to share about why plants matter, is that we have toxins that are in the world that are increasing at an alarming rate. Our bodies are meant to deal with the onslaught of toxins, but when they have such an alarming rate, they compound over time. We have a lot of pollution. We have water contaminants. There's a lot of things, even when we have filtered water, we have contaminants. So get a filter machine on your water for sure. But we have pesticides that are sprayed on our food. We have chemicals that are in our home. We have medications that we take. We have makeup and, deodorant and things that we put on our bodies, that some things we can avoid and do better and some things we can avoid. But we have things that are just put in our world to make it easier with in plastic. We have holding spaces for food and makeup and plastic bags, and how we, can put our foods in containers to hold them in the refrigerator, but they do affect the body over time. And they are some things that you can check out. EWG.org is where we find Dirty Dozen, endocrine disruptors to avoid. There's tapwatersafe.com is another way to understand the power of clean water. But I want you to know, number one, is we have a need to get more plants because we have an increase of toxic overload. Second thing is that we have a decreased quality of our food, and 80% of our food grown and put in the grocery store did not exist 100 years ago. And broccoli, just for an example, has lost up to 80% of its nutritional value at many times. Just getting the food to where it needs to be, it's transported 1,000 miles away. So you see in 1950, one bowl of spinach of the nutritional value, potency to protect the body, to bind the toxins, to neutralize the body, to really, help us to replicate the cell. It would take, and this was just 2,043 bowls of spinach to be able to get the nutritional edge. And it's because of soil depletion, because the crops grown decades ago were much more richer in vitamins and minerals. And it's also the transportation as well, and some of the toxic overload too, that's a tax on the body. So the third thing is that the root cause of diseases is why we need to add more plants. It's because we have a process called oxidation. And when we look at a cell, it's supposed to function and communicate at optimal level. And we know through life, we have some things that miscommunicate and misdirect because of this oxidative process, which creates an imbalance between what we call free radicals and the antioxidants in our bodies. And they're little sparks that, just because I know everybody who's there tonight, I want you to take a deep breath. We're burning oxygen in the body. And then when we metabolize food, we have a combustion that works, and it's creating these little sparks, and they call them free radicals. They create imbalances and hits to the cell. And we have to neutralize that toxins. They attack the cell and they break in and bite into that DNA. And just like an apple, think of the inner cell, we can age faster by not having the protection. And with the protection, we can see we age the cell differently. It affects the way we look on the outside. It protects the way we eat, on the inside as well. And also the uploading or open door to disease like cancer, diabetes, autoimmune disease, and such. So we want to make sure we have a way to neutralize and put a protection or a nutritional armor around our cells. And it comes down to the first way to upgrade your health. And I mentioned, I'm giving you these 4 things, is to create a healthier cellular terrain, which is to be able to help that cell not age as fast. So I wanted to go a little deeper dive in the importance of the antioxidants. To tip that scale is that the human body is made up of 75 trillion cells, okay? And so we want you to look at a cell. We have to look at what a healthy cell looks like. It actually absorbs the nutrition coming in easily. A cell membrane is soft and pliable. The waste is coming out. It moves through and communicates well, just like a moving kitchen. You eat and clean, take out the garbage, and if you keep up on it, you have a clean kitchen. But if you have an unhealthy cell, you're not allowing some of the nutrients to get in to make that difference because of the rigidness of the cell, the oxidation, the inflammation that occurs over time, the toxic overload in the cell, you're not moving a lot of the products out. Just like a kitchen, you could have a lot of garbage that sits around, and pretty soon abundance of garbage sacks sits around and you can't get them out. So you make a mess, harder to trip over when you're making the kitchen work, okay? But what we do is to know those cells, we can make new red blood cells in about 4 months, and a whole new body with our way we construct that body and feed the body. So if you make and feed the cells properly, we make better tissue. With better tissue, we make better human organs. And with better organs, we make better systems. With better systems, we have a better life and a longevity and aging well with vitality and confidence. So I want you to know that with confidence, a blood cell is really what we're talking about. That duplication, that Xeroxing of how we feed that cell is going to replicate into healthier cells or not. And it takes about 120 days to replace red blood cells. It takes 6 months to replace most all the protein in the body, and even replacing DNA of genetic code or to influence those largely. And in 1 year, all of your bones are replicated and constructed entirely out of the nutrients you eat. So what you do eat does affect your life, the way you think, your moods, the way you look, the way you keep the disease at bay. So here's an example. This is an outer example. You don't know how our house is going to last until you got a storm coming. But when we take off, we look at that raw material. We want to make sure that it has good material. It doesn't have wet wood, doesn't have rusted nails, and we want to have the best material to construct the best house. So we want to make sure we bind the toxins, have good nutrition, normal communication of the cells, so we can have the best house to last our life. And that we know with science predicts that. We have a lot of things that show and about the way we can age is influenced very significantly of how we feed the body and how we choose to think and manage our emotions. So the source of these raw materials is against oxidants, which is that rusting process, of that sparking process of that apple that I showed you that it aged. And we know if we have trillions of cells and we get about 10,000 of oxidative hits, that little sparks that attack the cell, we can slow that down by getting more abundance of the antioxidants. And the wider the color, the wider range of protection. The second thing I wanted to share with you is to feed the gut. And we're learning lots more about the microbiome, and beauty and health and disease begins in the intestines. And so that's where the 70% of your immune system is served. Where we better immune system, we feed these good bacteria that is about 10 times the bacterial cells we have of human cells. If we can help feed the good bacteria, which is fed by vegan matter only because it has fiber is that food, we can be able to have a better immune system, which affects your brain and affects the way you digest your food as well. And also happy factors. 98% of your serotonin is a hormone is made in your gut, which we know that food affects your mood. We are happier when we eat living food. And so we just want to tell you, we don't have to be perfect, but 80% of the time we need to be eating plants and living food and good, clean protein and food that has a right communication. And it does shift your taste buds. The more you eat healthy food, it affects how you crave healthier food. It affects how you assimilate your food. It affects your balancing of the immune system. And it positively, I mentioned again, it reiterates affecting your mood. So just in summary, ways to improve your microbiome or your immune system is eat more fiber. That's the only way it gets fiber is from a wide variety of plants. Avoid processed food and the toxic overload. Avoid and reduce a minimum of the animal protein. Stressing less by doing more breathing, filtered water, and making sleep a priority. The third thing I want to share with you is to elevate your personal genetic code. By the raise of hands, I don't know, I can't see everybody out there, but how many of you have cancer in your family? The gene. How about heart disease? How about digestive health, autoimmune disease? How about, some of the others, maybe you could mention in the chat some of the struggles. But just because we have the struggles, we can elevate that. We can push things out, like my husband's story. We can be able to have a way to level. There is a new field of research called nutrigenomics or epigenetics that it reveals how the choices we make with nutrition and the way we think can affect the genes and even those of your children for generations to come. And so I want you to know, for sake of time, I can't go into all the research, but there is proven science behind that your DNA can be modified by influence and turned up or regulated off and on by the food we choose to eat, to have more life, less chemicals, and better communication. It all comes down to Mother Nature. That's where the antioxidants, and that's the secret sauce of how our bodies work to be the medicine. Food is your best medicine. And I want to make sure people know, and I learned it 30 years ago when I was working on my degree as a naturopathic doctor and nutritional counselor, is that, Mother Nature has all the pieces because it works in synergy with not just isolating the nutrition from food. If you look at a vitamin label, it's a supplement fact. It has isolated, fragmented components of what was in the Mother Nature. So if you look at an apple, a label in an apple, this one label on the left side only has 500 of the 10 to 12,000 in nutrients of the antioxidants, the phytonutrients with the 13 vitamins. So you can't take out the 1 or 2 or 5 or 13 vitamins and expect it to work the same way. It doesn't serve. So if I'm thinking of Yvonne, you're on the phone. If I was to take off the Y off your name, it doesn't spell Yvonne. If I take the nutrition out of an apple with a certain isolated nutrition, it breaks it apart and miscommunicates. So when you look at vitamins, 1 + 1 = 2. But you look at whole food concentrates, with the way Mother Nature designed it, is 1 + 1 could equal hundreds or thousands because it's small amounts of everything working together like a symphony. And that's the power of living food. That's why it works better to have the living components of small nutrients working together. They play off each other and work on a more expansive absorption and more making new things out of the information because the body knows what to do. So the fourth thing is what I shared in my story, and I didn't go into detail till now, but it was bridging the gap with the whole food concentrates. How many of you struggle to get 9 to 13 servings? How many of you are just disheartened when you have family and children that pick at their food and they're rewarded with sugar all the time? Can't tell you how many people I coach that just no matter how hard we try to eat green smoothies and how hard we try to get fruits and vegetables and with the low value of what's in the store and the variety that's missing, we're not getting it. So I believe and know through the power of living food is getting a concentrated amount of fruits and vegetables and berries and clean omegas. This is 30-year research on this product that I've been sharing with the number one way to turn health around in my practice and my family and my friends. And this is what I've taken every day for the last over 25 years. I've been sharing it. Oh my gosh, just the peelings, crushed plants is glorified of over juicing. Juicing is where you extract the liquid out of plants. This is more of a juice or blending process where they take from the farmers in the field, they take the fruits and vegetables and berries. It's more crushing with the peelings and all the peelings on. I don't know how many ever ate a pomegranate peeling or a pineapple rind or orange rind. There's more properties of protection in the rind than actually in the flesh. And so you got 30 plants plus vegan omegas with wide spectrum. And so when I was looking at Juice Plus, I was like, I thought I ate 9 to 13 servings, but I made an attempt to go to the grocery store and I went out to see if I could get the 30 raw fruits and vegetables. I did the best I could with the serving as the size of your fist. And I tried, and it was amazing to see the price of $90 in one day almost just to get the things I needed for the day. And it's a fraction of the cost and a lot more power in this edge. So here is the juicing process made simple. And I just came last week or last summer, went out to Chicago and seeing some of the farms from the family farms with the kale mass produced way they grow everything clean, without chemicals or pesticide, no herbicide of yeast and mold of any kind. They take it through 7 steps of cleaning, pulverizing, crushing the plants, and having it dehydrated with cool temperatures and put it into capsules. And I saw it with my own eyes, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to have confidence knowing what I knew, but seeing what I saw as a process. It was incredible of getting 30 plants vine ripened, crushed without they take out the sugar, the water, the salt, and make it simple. 30 fruits, the green bottle is 10 vegetables, vine ripened plants. The red is the 10 more fruits. The purple are 10 berries, the rich berries for the heart. I always say the fruit and vegetables are really for primarily the immune system. The berries are for circulation, heart health. And then the omegas are the vegan omegas, bypass the fish, go straight to a vegan source of plants, which is the better way to get them because fish don't make omegas. And our company wanted to get a wide spectrum of synergy as well with the vegan omegas. We have not just omega-3s like fish oils, it's omega-3, 6, 5, 7, and 9, all from plants and no fishy burps. And we're getting clean sources that have shown that are a lot more advantage with half the dose, with half the time with getting those right omegas for the brain, eyes, and skin. So here's what I've taken for the last 25 years: 2 fruits, 2 vegetables, 2 berries, and omegas. Oh my gosh, what a blessing to be able to have this every day for my family and for my husband and for my children and my grandchildren. I have almost 9 grandchildren that they've grown up with this. And here's a picture of my beautiful children. They have had healthy babies. The doctors are amazed when they see the umbilical cord having the the umbilical cord get through the end of the pregnancy being intact, and seeing protection for some of the things that come our way with our family to fight other things that are in my book that I'll mention in a minute. But seeing the children being able to have the edge to be able to stay in school and to be able to have the best of health, so they can be able to have choices, to be able to go to colleges and make the choices hold through because they have the best of health or ready for things to come. I'm so grateful to have this for my family. And the reason why I share with so much passion and why I know what I know with Whole Food and Juice Plus is because of the research. I would have shared this with clients. I would never have taken it because of testimonials, although it has it. It has 48 published peer-reviewed gold standard independent studies proving it gets into the blood. It proves, even use it with the US Olympic team, or a lot of Olympic trainers now, with the edge with their competitions. They use it with some of the with cancer patients, like my husband's story, get to have an edge or quality of life. And some of the things I'll mention, a few studies here. But I'm just so blessed to know that the quality of the research was not just something that was bought by the company. The company can give money for the company to do the research, but their hands are up, and so they don't have no way to taint those studies. But it was the gold standard method of randomizing the people that are taking Juice Plus. It was double blind, and this is a research where people know they have to, make sure that no one knows who's taking the Juice Plus in the study, who's not. Placebo controlled, tested on humans. People ask me, why you not share other products? I have never seen anything with maybe 2 studies. We have 48 published studies with human trials, not rat studies, and published in peer-reviewed journals and ethical all over the world. And you can see these studies with Brigham Young University, Medical University of Vienna, Austria, the MD Anderson, Wake Forest University, all over Yale, Harvard, Maryland School of Medicine. So here is the one I mentioned at the beginning about oxidative stress and inflammation being the root cause of how disease happens, how cancer gets away, or how any other disease gets away, is oxidative stress. And it showed after just 78 days, and they use this on Cobra Armed Forces, which are the Australia Special Forces. It showed a 26% decrease of free radicals, that oxidation, and improved immunity in just 28 days. And in elderly women, 75% decrease of free radicals in 7 days. You would never even know that happened in 7 days. So this is a picture to give you that example of a healthy cell that are attacked by free radicals just by breathing in oxygen, by metabolizing food. It breaks down the cell to a normal cell. But in taking Juice Plus, these plant powders, concentrated, vine ripened, in 28 days reduces oxidative stress 75%. That is incredible, reducing the risk of disease. And another study showed Juice Plus, after 8 weeks, 1,600 genes were positively influenced. Some good genes were turned on, the bad genes were turned off. That was incredible, knowing we can change things. We don't just sit silently waiting for things to happen. And then one of my studies I love that was done at the school that I attended at Brigham Young University was showing that after 80 days, 66% reduction of DNA damage or breakage. And that was done on elderly or people that were a population of smokers. And they said 10% would have been anti-aging, and seen even beginning of lungs begin to repair. So that was pretty amazing. And then lastly, of course, I don't know about you, but I think everybody wants to look good on the outside, right? Everybody wants to look good. I know when I took Juice Plus, I saw significant changes in the color of my skin with all those plants, the carotenoid glow, whites in my eyes, better hair. I just turned 61, and I just feel like my energy is high as it was at my 30s. But the skin study was done with Juice Plus, showing those plant concentrates after 12 weeks improved better skin hydration, so a less poor appearance of pore size, improved skin density, better holding on of hydration or water, and better circulation, which has a better glow, a beauty that is universally attractive. And here's a picture of one of my clients and our partners. He was, struggled for years in adult acne and onset scarring of his skin. And 6 months later, and he just started changing his diet. It started with Juice Plus, and started seeing living food bind those toxins. And in 6 months, you could hardly see any scarring. That was incredible. That was Juice Plus and the omegas. He'd put the omegas on his skin as a topical every day. It was incredible. And then, of course, we have our Healthy Starts for Families program. We have a program where children can be attached to an adult order. Adult would be 18 years of age, and being able to give children from 4 to 25, that 25th year, free raw fruits and vegetables with Juice Plus. And they're showing they're eating more fruits and vegetables. It changes the taste buds. They're making other changes, keeping out of the doctor visit, consuming less fast food that helps to lower weight because they're taking out the chemical toxins and staying in school and drinking more water and visiting the doctor less often and taking 56 or taking less fewer out of pure Medicaid prescription drugs. So exciting. And also overcoming mom guilt. I don't know about you, but that's important. I have four kids, and that was hard. Some days you just can't win, but with Juice Plus you can. And then the other thing that I love is that our company doesn't just only rely on the 48 published studies, although significant. They have an independent and third-party company come by at random in that field, looking at the way they grow the soil, the way they go through that plant and that processing I shared with you. They look at all the way through to the bottom of researching of the blood of a human being, then knowing there is no contaminants, no fillers, no herbicide, no heavy metals. And Juice Plus contains only what's listed on the ingredient label, and it has NSF certification on every bottle, or it would not pass the test. Lastly, I want to share with you that there's a lot of cool, there's a lot of struggle out there with simplifying programs. And this is what I've used for myself, and really was my husband's program, but they have a program that's really specific with the free resources and community. It's called the Shred Makeover Program, and it has all tools that are free, complementary with taking the capsules and also having a nutritional plant-based shake that is going to help you move forward with a reset programming, binding toxins, and really get in rhythm to be able to change your health. And so you're able to have 15 more plants in a plant-based smoothie mix with fiber to help feed that gut and reset that microbiome. And we also have better ways to learn about the habit changes of exercise and water and managing stress and getting rid of some of the inflammatory foods. And there's some guidelines that we can have people that know about the program get it to you as well. But it is a game changer. But Juice Plus is a secret sauce to get those toxins bound to be able to start making red blood cells in the right way to be able to turn your health around on the inside and the out. And here is a picture of my smoothie I take every day. I love my chocolate and cherry smoothie, and I put greens in it as well. But it helps to reset my taste buds, helps me to curb my craving. I have sailed through menopause, and it's just been a blessing to my children. I visited my grandkids through the weekend, and we put the chocolate complete in their oatmeal. I'll make it a smoothie. We can make it there are different ways you can make protein bites, but there's lots of ways we can add more plants in our healthy on the go and alternatives to fast food. And I want to make sure make sure I'm really clear on that Juice Plus is not treating or causing to cure anything disease, but it's healthy to know as a highly concentrated, loads of flooding the body with whole food nutrition to give you that best edge on your health, and supported by over 48 published studies independently and clinically proving these plants do get into the bloodstream in just 2 hours. It shows up in your blood. There's a lot of information on another thing that we share is our tower garden, which is indoor outdoor growing. And this is another division of growing our getting people to get more plants. And so if you need more information about how to grow food on your own patio or in your home, I have 4 towers and I've grown for over 14 years, but 98% less water, conserves the struggle with our water problem and shortage. It takes up 90% less space, 30% more yield, and 3 times faster it grows. And so you can go adding more to your plants and saving a ton of money and knowing that we have control over what's coming our way. Very wonderful way to grow without dirt and plug and play approach. One of the things that I love about Juice Plus is a fraction of the cost. I mentioned is juicing, and it bridges the gap from what we're striving to do. And it's only $267 a day for the fruit and vegetable and berry blend. So that's about $80 a month, and you have your child for free, and you get all the free resources. And it is a game changer to get you in motion. And disease is expensive. It is much better to be proactive and prevent disease. It's just like wearing an armored seatbelt or brushing your teeth. You do it, and you're going to be able to have a better way to have confidence in your aging process as well. And I wanted to let you know, and I get really emotional when I think of growing health communities. I've been able to say yes as a business partner with Juice Plus. When I first started out, I just wanted to, get it for our family. And then it led into helping my friends and family that wanted to have the edge on not avoiding or at least reducing the wake up calls and silent diseases. I've seen so many families get hope and navigate uncertainty with battling strong and aging well and looking good on the inside and outside with our business. I've been able to raise my four daughters, and with our team, with working together to prepare for the best and prepare for the worst years. We're eating the real food and adding Juice Plus. And so I have a Smartt Transformation business, and I wrote a book that kind of talked about our health, our spiritual journey within the food journey, but the science of hope, of resiliency, and to believe in miracles, of nutritional miracles, emotional miracles, spiritual miracles, and to be able to have a way to fight, to battle, to be resilient and strong, and to give you the edge on, having a community of support. And there's one whole chapter in the Modern Day Miracles that talks about that nutritional support with Juice Plus. So I wanted to just let you know, I want to thank you so much for letting me share my story. I know I went quick. Juice Plus is the best secret I could ever give anyone to make sure that you're moving forward every day for those silent killers to reduce them, to be able to be the mom, to be the parent, to be able to have the confidence that you can age well and to navigate the storms that are coming. They're going to come to all of us, but they're significantly reduced when you have that protection, and we owe it to our family. And I just wanted to thank you for just letting me share that story. And I hope that it gives you hope and to be able to be proactive and to really make health a top priority. And I'm open up to answer any questions we have. If we're over time, it might be too much to go too deep, but.
Oh, no, 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 we're not over time at all. Oh, Dr. Rachel, you are just a breath of fresh air. I love your slides. And I just have to say that Dr. Rick would be shining down on us and just giving you the high five, because you just did an amazing job. And your family, oh my goodness, are they ever gorgeous? What a family. Unbelievable. Let's talk a little bit about like you, of course, you said that, cancer, we do not make any health claims with Juice Plus, but I know there's a couple of questions that have come through. And one of the questions was, to have that 8 years longer with your husband, how much Juice Plus were you adding extra to his diet?
We started out by just doing like 4 capsules of each. And then as he navigated up and down, it's a roller coaster ride. And we just started adding more and more. It comes on, it could be 6 to 8 fruits and then 8 vegetables and 8 berries. We did it based on what he was going through, but always had at least 3 capsules every day. But sometimes we went up higher depending on what symptoms he was having, because we navigated, we extended it where he had terminal illness, 4-stage cancer, given 6 months, but we got the edge. So you can use it as therapeutic doses.
Yeah. It's interesting when you say that. Did you have or offer any vitamins at that time to him, or what did you
I think there's a place for vitamins, and it could be at the very beginning of a transition, but the first couple months you could add more whole food vitamins. And then we kind of get off and start using the food, and Juice Plus was that edge. But I always recommend people getting their levels measured with their blood levels. But I always say vitamin D3, most people are very low in that, and it does indicate a lot of the probability of disease. So vitamin D3, B12, usually people are low on that because our stress levels are so high. Getting a good, getting a good B12 vitamin, and then some magnesium as we get older. We just seem to struggle with that as we get older. And I always say every Juice Plus is foundational. It's like the concrete. If you want to do things that are like the turmeric and the curcumin and all these things, those are toppers. But don't start with toppers. They don't work. You got to get the base to build it. But there's okay. You do what you can afford, but you got to have 80% is the base, and that's where Juice Plus comes in. Toppers are here and there, but don't replace toppers to take the place of the plants.
Foundation, that's right. Did your children start off with the soft chews, or did they go straight to capsules? How did you navigate that?
They had hard chewables when they first started out, and they changed to gummies, but they loved to they just took the capsules, and we always put it on the plate. And the conversation was it was non-negotiable. we are the parent. I go, wishy-washy parents make wishy-washy adults. It was on the plate. Did you say your prayers? Did you take your Juice Plus? Did you do your homework? Did you, it was just, do you wear a helmet when you get on a bike? It's just part of what you do. And it was not even a choice, because was just stewardship of our bodies. It was non-negotiable. So if a parent goes, well, they won't take it, we will figure out how to get it in them. You can throw it in your smoothies. It can pulverize. And as they start taming those taste buds, they will acquire that taste, and it is your responsibility. It is not it's not an option for me.
I love that. And I mean, let's say that again, just for the people in the back, right? I mean, how many times have we heard that where, moms or dads will say, oh, they won't eat anything, or they won't take their Juice Plus, or then we can't get them to eat their smoothie. And like you said, you got to find a way. It's so important. I know, what do you feel as a naturopathic doctor is really the hardest part of moving health forward and staying consistent? How do you navigate that?
Is getting started. And that's why I say, when you start, just the first step is taking Juice Plus, because you're getting all this alkaline food, vine ripe, raw, peelings on. You're going to see changes that you've never would have seen if you just started trying to eat fruits and vegetables. So take Juice Plus, start adding more fruits and vegetables. More and more matters. You got to get the base, because it's just hard to get ahead of it, because there's this so low of value, and we have so much stress that we're dealing with. So Juice Plus, first step, get on the makeover, the shred guidelines. You don't have to do all of them, but start taking a shake a day and water. And that helps your body get moving. So getting started is the hardest part. And if you could have this first step with some water, and things start to happen, your habits begin to change. It all begins with that first step.
So, I mean, you and I have been consuming this for so long, and of course, our complete shakes, that we know what our bowels and our guts are to feel like, right? How do you talk to a family when they say that usually the husbands and the children are, they're having a bit of stomach issues as they start taking Juice Plus? We know they're detoxifying, but how do you move through that with the family?
Well, I talk about, if they have, I usually at the beginning, I tell me how your gut health is. And so I believe in my 25 years of being a naturopath, that I don't know anybody that I've helped that cannot take Juice Plus. It's how they're going to take it. So if they have a lot of constipation, which most people have, a lot of struggles, we start just doing a little bit, like half dose, or one a day. It depends on what's happening, and I kind of assess that. But I want to make sure, if you're going to get changes, you kind of have to start working on taking out some things too. Because you just take Juice Plus and then never change anything, your body's going to have a little gas, because you got a 30-foot colon, little chug chug poof poof, because they're trying to get everything through. So you go, let's stop putting all the toxins in. You're going to have a lot better change with this. But if you're not ready for that, we'll go slower to help not have 20 maids in your house flipping over, the rugs and taking down the curtains. You're going to basically go a little slower with 1 or 2 maid service to be able to navigate that house cleaning. I go slower, but don't give up, but monitor that. But I would say go half dose, or every other day if we're having a lot of struggle. But the problem is the gut isn't healthy, and the solution is this food. So it's basically, let's work real slow if we need to, but it will work. And what's the consequences if you don't make the changes?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a big fan of having a shake in the morning, and sometimes late at night, if I just don't feel like eating, but I'm hungry, I also have a shake at night. Approximately how many shakes do you have a day, or how often do you use the complete in your diet?
I would say, I mean, I do maybe 1 or 2, but it really is a meal, or it could be in between a meal. But it's not just any shake. It's a vegan shake that has fiber. And most shakes are they have way too much protein through the animal source or chemical sources. Is almost very little fiber, and fiber is what feeds those bugs, those good bacteria, that is 70% of your immune system. And so I have never tasted anything so delicious. I have tried other shakes just so I could try them. I'm gagging those things down just as I wanted to experience them, and they don't have they're the ones that make you have gas. Ours is just so delicious that it helps to retain that taste bud and that gut health, but helps to stabilize blood sugar, so you're not it has a lot of effect on that willpower.
Right. Absolutely. I know that people are asking your book. Where can they buy your book?
They can buy it on Amazon, and just Smartt Modern Day Miracles with 2 T's, and Rachel and Sarah Smartt. And my daughter, I didn't give you that story, but that's where I was feel great as a mother, knowing I didn't know what was coming for her. And something happened to her at 25, and that's why she's on the cover. but I was beginning to write a book about the experiences of how I navigated hard struggle with resiliency and faith and all these things that were my story. And something happened to her. There's a miracle ending to it, and that's the ending where faith, resiliency, some of the things that happened to my story, my journey, but then something came out of the woodwork. But I would never have been felt good as a mother if I did not prime her body to prepare for that best outcome. It is a miracle. So it's all a miracle, but that was a Moses miracle at the end, and you can get on Amazon as well.
Okay, so we will definitely be passing out that information. And just with closing tonight, is there any closing tips that you that maybe you missed in your presentation, or you just want to wrap up or give us some insight in?
Just realize it's a small, simple changes that you make consistently over time creates the miracle. So our world teaches the run and gun and do all or nothing. It's just getting things and habits in place. And with Juice Plus, it's the thing that anchors the other habits. I find if I eat more with Juice Plus, I eat more fruits and vegetables. I eat more fruits and vegetables. I'm drinking more water. I drink more water. I'm eating better. I'm having energy to exercise. And then just knowing, I feel so good knowing that I want the best out of life. I want to give the best, and my family deserves the best, and so does yours.
Oh, that is so true. Thank you so much. For those of you that are listening here tonight, and perhaps, this is not your first time you've come to one of our presentations, maybe it's the second or the third. And if you're looking to perhaps take some of the Juice Plus products, please, that Rachel has talked about tonight, please get back to the person that invited you this evening. They'll be more than happy to supply you with more information, or better yet, they'll actually be able to help you get started. And you know what? The best way to try anything is to get started on it and start feeling what we all feel. And like Rachel said, she's been taking it for 25 years. I'm coming into my 29th year already taking it. And I can't imagine a day without it. And I know you can't either. So please get back to the person that invited you tonight for that. And for those of you that you've been sitting here a while and you're saying, I'm a customer, but you're starting to think about the people that you'd like to share this with. In the United States right now and in Canada, we have an opportunity to join our mission for $10, you guys, to have an opportunity to get our products at a discounted price for yourself, but giving you the opportunity to share our business, to share these products with other people. You'll be able to help others, like Rachel talked about, build a health community. Even if you just want to share with just one or two people, that's great. If you want to share with a few more, then we're going to be there to help you. And you're going to invite them to stuff like this and get the best education possible. So along with that, $10 to join the business opportunity, and the mission is they're going to get what I like to call a goodie bag. It's like, oh God, I don't even know, $50 to $100 worth of free samples in it of our products, which, what better way to try everything, right, you guys? It's just so important. So I urge you, please get back to the person that invited you. This presentation is going to be recorded. You'll be able then to listen to it in French and in English. And we're going to be able to send that out. And for those of you that are members with us already, you'll be able to see that on the Juice Plus Canada Facebook page. And if you're not, of course, just ask the person that invited you tonight. They'll make sure you get that this recording of this presentation. So I personally want to thank you, Dr. Rachel. Your information is just top notch, and I love listening to you. I love your passion. I love everything about what you talk about, and I've heard you quite a few times now on main stages, and I just love what you have to share. So I know many of the others would as well. And at this time, I want to share something about Dr. Rachel that a lot of you don't know about. We have a brand new product. It's called Luminate. It's coming here to Canada, but right now it's in the United States. And Dr. Rachel is one of the Luminate legends. She is, I can't remember, was there 4 or 5 of you that
Yeah.
that got the most customers on the brand new product? That's just amazing. And can you just give a little sneak peek about what Luminate is? And when we have it in Canada, which is coming soon, we would love to be able to have you back and just do a little bit more in depth about that. Would you be comfortable with that?
Yes, I'm grateful. I'm grateful you're staying with us because it's a little longer. It kind of goes a little longer, but I'm so grateful. I don't drink coffee. I've never done much caffeine. And when I have done a little caffeine, it's very heart racing. It just jittery. I don't like it. So I was a little bit hesitant, but when they came out with 100% plant-based caffeine and a plant-based other components, because remember, it's about synergy. They have the nootropics, which helps your brain to work more at a more better functioning speed and better memory. Who doesn't need that? I do. I wanted to be able to have the adaptogens that manage stress. And there's mushrooms and all these other nootropics and adaptogens. So it's different than mushroom coffee, but it has this is what really sold me on it was the caffeine that comes from coffee is usually extracted out of the plant to be like a bean. But when you have the bean and you have the berry on top, which is the way it's supposed to be when it's intact, the caffeine behaves differently, and you don't have any jittery. You have even energy flow. It is something that I didn't know I needed. You know, I always have good energy, but it's been taken a whole new notch. But it has only 2 grams of sugar, but the stable energy that I am just laser focused. And I don't have to do energy drinks. I don't have to drink coffee. If you do, you can. A lot of people are reducing that, you know, a bit. I have a gym owner that was doing energy drinks, and I said, I want you to try this because you have chemicals in your energy drink. And he switched to give it a 3-day trial. He said, I'll never go back to energy drink. This is way better. He is calm and focused, and he didn't have the chemicals. I've had I had a big Luminate open house the other day, and I had one of my friends who works with a neurologist because she's 84. He says this is the best thing he ever has seen with all these properties in one little stick. You put it with water, it tastes like a mango tea kind of. She says, you stay on that. That is incredible. I want to know more about it. So I'm just so grateful to have, you know, the calm energy. And it is so wonderful to have that focus. We do need some energy because we live in a world of overwhelm.
Oh, well, congratulations to you. And we are so excited to get it up here in Canada in Canada. And I love how you explain really that it just partners with all of our Juice Plus products. We couldn't ask for better. So congratulations to you. Thank you for sharing with all of us tonight. And thank you to Alain, our interpreter, and Dominica from head office. And thank all of you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. Good night.